Service include anything other than goods, money and security, but include activities relating to the use of money or its conversion by cash or by any other modes from one currency or denomination to another form, currency or denomination for which a separate consideration is charged. Service include facilitating, arranging transactions and securities. Okay, then. Family means spouse and children of a person, and a parent, grandparents, brother and sister of a person if they are wholly or mainly dependent on them. So family basically includes spouse and children, and parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters who are mainly dependent on them. Government consideration. Actionable claims to any debt other than means claim to any debt other than debt secured by mortgage of immovable property or hypothecation or pledge of movable property. Manufacturing, money, taxable territory, India. Supplier. Let's have a discussion of the definition of supplier. In relation to any goods and services or both, shall means person supplying the said goods or services or both, and shall include an agent acting as such on behalf of such supplier in relation to goods or services or both. However, person who organize or arrange directly or indirectly supply of a specified actionable claim, including a person who owns, operate or manage digital or electronic form for supply, shall be deemed to be supplier of such actionable claim, whether such actionable claim are supplied by him or through him, and whether consideration in money or money worth, including virtual digital assets, for supply of such actionable claim is paid or conveyed to him or through him or placed at his disposal in any manner, and all the provision of act apply to such supplier of a specified actionable claim, as if they are the supplier liable to pay tax in relation to supply of such actionable claims. Recipient. Concept of supply, section 7. Section 7. Let's go with analysis. The definition of supply is inclusive definition and does not define the term exhaustively. It means we can include some odd things in this. Define the scope of supply in an inclusive manner. But the list is not exhaustive. This is further sustained by use of the word such as in the definition. The meaning and the scope of supply in terms of section 7 can be understood in the following parameter. Supply should be of goods or services. Supply should be for consideration. Supply should be in the course or furtherance of business. Parameter of supply in the course or furtherance of business. Supply of goods or services for consideration. Further, there are cases where a transaction is kept out of the scope of supply despite the existence of above parameters. In the subsequent paras, the above aspect of supply has been extensively discussed. Discussion has totally broadly classified. Supply includes supply of goods or services for consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Activity or transaction between a person other than individual and its member or constitute for cash, deferred payment or valuable consideration. Activity or transaction between a person other than an individual and its member or constitute for cash, deferred payment or other valuable consideration. Importation of service for consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Importation of service for consideration whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. Supply without consideration. Activity to be treated as supply for goods or supply of services. supply under GST. So, supply of goods or services for consideration in the course of furtherance of business. Supply should be of goods or services. Supply include a specified form of supply should be for consideration should be in the course or furtherance in business. Course or furtherance of business. Form of supply consideration in the course of furtherance of business. Okay. Supply should be of goods or services or both. Supply include all form of supply of goods or services or both. Supply of anything other than goods or services like money security does not attract GST. Actionable claim use of money. Supply include a specified form of supply should be for consideration and should be in the course and furtherance of business. Supply include all form of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease or disposal made or agreed to be made for consideration in the course or furtherance of business. Form of supply: sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal for consideration in the course and furtherance of business. Form of supply: sale and transfer, barter, exchange, license, rental, lease, disposal. Consideration need not to be flow from the recipient of the supply. It can also be made by a third person. However, any subsidy given by central government or state government is not considered as consideration. It can be in the money or in kind. It covers anything might be possible done, given or made exchange in something else. A deposit given in respect of the supply of goods or services or both shall not be considered as payment made for such supply unless the supplier applies such deposit as consideration for the said supply. For the consideration of the said supply. Definition: payment in money or otherwise. Monetary value of any act or forbearance of supply by recipient or any other person. Let us examine the existence of consideration in following three scenarios. Donation received by charitable institute from individual donor without quid pro quo. An important feature of consideration is quid pro quo, something for something. Donations received by charitable organizations are treated as consideration only if there exists quid pro quo, that is, there is an obligation on a part of the recipient of the donation or a gift to do something. Generally, institution as a religious institution, charitable organization, school, hospital, orphan receive financial help or any other support in the form of donation or gift from the individual donor. In order to express the gratitude toward the help, recipient institution place the name plate or similar acknowledgement in their premises. When the name of the donor is displayed in the recipient institute premises in such a manner which can be said to be expression of gratitude and public recognition of donors act of philanthropist and is not aimed at giving publicity to the donor in such manner it would be an advertising or promotion of his business, then it can be said that there is no supply of service for the payment in the form of donation. In other words, there is no obligation on the part of the recipient of the donation or gift to do anything service. There is no GST liability on such payment made. When the name of the donor is displayed in recipient institute premises in such a manner which can be said to be expression of gratitude and public recognition of donor's act of philanthropist and is not aiming to giving publicity to the donor. The GST is not levied where the following three conditions are satisfied, namely, gift or donation is made to charitable organization. Payment has the character of gift or donation. Purpose is philanthropist. That is, it leads to no commercial gain and not advertisement. Artwork sent by artists to galleries for exhibitions is not a supply, has no consideration flow from gallery to artist. Artists give their work to art gallery where it's exhibited as supply. It is only when a buyer select a particular art displayed at a gallery that the actual supply take place and applicable GST would be payable at the time of such supply. No supply of service by insured to insurance company in lieu of the no claim bonus offered by the insurance company. Let's have a short. Thus, it is therefore clarified that there is no supply provided by insured to insurance company in the form of agreeing to the obligation to refrain from the act of lodging insurance claim during previous year, and NCB cannot considered as a consideration for any supply provided by insured to insurance company. In the course or furtherance of business. In order to understand the term in the course, we need to first business, any trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, vocation, etc. Any trade, commerce, no. Any activity incidental thereto. Any trade, commerce, manufacture, profession, even if no pecuniary benefit. Supply, execution of goods including capital goods and services. In connection with commencement, closure of business. Provision of facilities by club, association, etc. to its member for consideration. Admission for consideration to any premises. Service as a holder of office. Club, associate. Admission to consideration to any premises. Service as a holder of office. Accepted in the course of furtherance of trade. Activity of race club including totalizers. Any activity by government, local authority as public authorities. Thus, business include any activity transaction which is incidental or ancillary to any trade. Any activity undertaken by the central government, state or local authority in which engage the public authority shall also be constructed as business. For any trade, commerce or any other similar activity to qualify as business, frequency, volume, continuity or regularity of such transaction or obtaining peculiar benefit from it is not a prerequisite. Supply of goods or services as a vocation is also supply under GST. हाँ